Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live podcast, where I, Sunita, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about all things North Fork. Brr, it definitely feels like summer is ending. Well, not ending, but unofficial end is coming on a much colder temps because I feel like it's already sweater weather. Until last weekend, it just felt so beautiful and so warm and water, and I don't know, it suddenly started to drip. I don't know if the Hurricane Erin had anything to do with it, but it's definitely cold. We had a fun week this week. Earlier in the week, we went to Southampton, Tracy and I, to visit 𝗖𝗵𝗶𝗍 at WLIW-FM, and it was such a fun experience. 𝗖𝗵 is great at what she does, and it was wonderful to chat with her and be on a public broadcasting radio and see what she does. Personally, for me, it was so an interesting experience to be on the other side of the chair, because just like our conversations, her conversations are unscripted, and so you just show up and you chat about things and you never know what direction they're going to go in. And it was lovely, except bizarrely I was nervous. First of all, because you don't know what you're going to talk about. Considering that I talk to you guys every Friday, you would think I wouldn't be, but just sitting on the other side of the chair, so I have a whole new appreciation for the guests who come and what that experience is like for them. Mentioned was, we chatted a little bit about the fact that Tracy and I are both on our phones, and so is our guest, which is simple and easy. But she had the most amazing studio space, and I had a little bit of a did you feel the same way?
Well, what I felt more was like, we need those microphones. Those
Yes.
microphones were amazing.
I
And
didn't even hate the sound of my own voice. It was great when I heard the replay.
you could hear everything just so crystal clear. It was just lovely. It was lovely. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that experience. It was really fun.
Well, you did good. You weren't nervous. You were, doing your usual oversharing. Good morning, Erin. So
Morning.
it was wonderful. I feel like I want to do over, like the second time around, maybe when I go back. Perhaps I don't know. Not that. I mean, I guess I was nervous. I don't know, but
You
maybe it
sounded
was just.
fine to me. I listened to the replay. You sounded perfectly fine. You
Thank you.
sounded like you knew what you were talking about, and you
Well,
do.
I wasn't nervous, and that's it. It was just like, like when you do something for the first time, you can't absorb it all because there's so much
Yes.
you're thinking about. The second time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a little less impressed by the studio or less intimidated by the
Yeah.
studio. I'll be
Well,
like, okay. But
you
I
know
love
what's
her.
funny is when you practice public speaking, you practice speaking really slowly because we don't realize how quickly we speak. So when I was in the studio and she was saying like, what's the name of your company? I felt like I said it in like slug motion. I was like, TK New York.
No, you did
And
great. You did great. But
but
I was
but when
also.
I heard it the replay, it was normal. Like,
I'm going to practice that for our show. Good morning,
good
Erin.
morning.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good,
Well,
thank you.
we're
I can't
happy
believe
to have you.
the fall weather that we're having. This is kind of crazy.
It's
I
crazy,
am
right?
I know that there are many people that are excited about it, but I am not one of them.
I,
I
I
am
will
not
I
one of them.
will be excited in October,
Yeah.
but don't be asking me to embrace fall in August.
Yep, I hear you on that.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Well, we're
can't
happy
even.
to have you back because we had you on a few months ago from I was going to say Smoke Rise Mothers Group because that's where I live, was the Smoke Rise Mothers Group. But the Southhold, the Southhold Mothers Group.
Exactly. Yeah, no, glad to be back with you guys. It's fun.
So
Wearing a
welcome back.
different hat today.
Right.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
So let's talk about the Catapano Dairy Farm.
Let's do it.
Well, can you tell us first, when are we allowed to come? Because I will tell you, I drive past all the time and I'm like, is it open? Do I go in? Can I just go? Like, I remember I felt that way about the one here, or it was Earth, whatever. You know,
Golden
the one,
Acres. Golden
Golden
Acres.
Acres. Yeah, like I always kind of was like so far in that I don't know if I'm allowed to go. So tell us when we're allowed to come and what we experience when we get there.
Totally. Yeah. So our hours right now are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 10 to 5 every day. Are those 3 days. And you can come and just hang out. There's no admission fee to come to the farm. You can come and just, pet the goats through the fence and sit down and have a little picnic lunch at our picnic tables if you want. We have a little porta potty and a hand washing station. And then we've got our and we've got our farm store right here on site that you can come into and, check out what we've got for sale. And, the things that we sell are cheese, which is really good goat cheese, and skincare products that are made from the goat milk of our goats. And it's kind of an amazing products. And I actually brought some with me here today to show you.
Okay, I want to take a jump back.
Yeah.
You have a full-time career.
I do.
Okay. What do you do in your career, in your day job?
Yeah. So my day job is actually, I'm an attorney, and I work for I don't know if I'm allowed to say on this, but I work in-house counsel for an institution out here on Long Island. So
how did you go from being a lawyer to being like, ooh, goats?
Well, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, a lot of crazy things happened during COVID, and this is one of them. So I actually grew up in Alabama originally. That's where I'm from. And grew up riding horses and doing 4-H. If you're familiar with that, it's all about sort of learning how to care for animals and really our environment. It's really a great program. And I learned a lot about livestock at that point in time, but not really much with goats. But during COVID, my husband had an oyster farm, and pretty much the bottom fell out from underneath the entire oyster farming industry because so many of his customers were restaurants, and all the restaurants closed. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how much we wanted to stay out here on the North Fork and be invested in what was going on here and the farming community and how special it was and what could we do to be part of it and preserve it. And we found out that Catapano Dairy Farm was for sale. So we came out to see it. I booked the appointment with the real estate agent sort of on a whim and said, hey, it doesn't hurt to look. Let's just go check it out. So we did. And the great thing is the two long-term employees that had been here for years and years with the Catapano family had agreed that if somebody wanted to keep it as a goat dairy farm, that they would stay on and they would help, teach the new owners how to do things. And so we were so fortunate to have that. And if without them, I don't think we could have done it. But
I feel like everything you just said is maybe like a TNT movie or a Hallmark movie.
It sounds romantic. Let me tell you something, ladies. That first year, oh my goodness. When I say the learning curve was steep, that is an understatement. There's a lot to learn about goats, about farming, about everything. So it was a lot. In the first year, we kept looking at each other going,
tell us like one thing that you learned about goats that blew your mind.
Oh, okay. Well, this is sort of morbid, but it's true. And that is because goats are prey animals. The one thing that goats like to do more than anything in this whole world, and I hate to say it, but they love to just pretend like everything is fine until they are flat out dead in the pasture. It's the scariest thing I have ever seen in my life. It blows my mind because they are so good at hiding illness, because what it means is, like, out in the wild, right, the weakest link in the herd is the one who gets taken down by the predator. So they try and pretend like everything is fine. And so you have to really be on top of them, in terms of like caring for them. Like I do a routine pass through the entire herd at least once a week to see how they're all looking, because, you have to look for all those little signs and symptoms. They're very delicate animals. People think that they can eat like, tin cans and stuff like that. They're really not. Like, they are little delicate flowers, honestly. And so we have to, really have to be on top of their care. They are funny, creative, smart creatures. Like, just and they all have their own personalities.
Do they climb as much as we think they do?
They do. And
Okay.
that too is actually based on instinct. So again, because they're prey animals, they want to be up as high as they possibly can be so that they can look around and see what might be out there, what danger there might be. So so that's their instinct. They want to be up as high as they can. So we have this, if you come to our property, you'll see we have this thing we call the goat boat, where it's like a big pirate ship set up for our babies, or the youngest. They're now teenagers because spring. But for them to climb on, because they love to be up high and look around and see what's going on.
What is the general lifespan of a goat? Because you just said if they were born in the spring, they're already a teenager. So is it a short lifespan?
So their lifespan is about like dogs. So, you know, around like large dogs. So somewhere around 12 to 14 years is about their lifespan. But they grow fast. In that first year, they grow a lot. Our goats are dairy goats, so they're bigger. Some people are familiar with like the smaller goats that you might see, like really cute little bouncy goats.
Mm-hmm.
Ours are a little more substantial, I could say. They got a little more meat on their bones. They're just a little more like chunky. And they are usually about 70 pounds or so by the time they're about 8 months old. So
now, are you one of those farms that the goats are allowed in your home? Because I feel like this is like an Instagram thing I've been seeing a lot, where the animals go in the house.
So yes and no. So first of all, our goats are big, as I just said. They're like, you know, pretty large. So the full-grown adult goats, no. But we have had situations over the years where we've had baby goats who either the mom rejected or they were sick, and so we have brought them into our house to take care of them. So to just, because it's also usually very chilly in March when they're born. You know, here sometimes you don't know, like we were just talking about the weather, don't know what's going to do. So we will bring them inside sometimes to try to take care of them, give them special TLC. So we have had goats frolic in our home, but we do put diapers on them, and believe it or not, pull-ups, just with a little hole cut in for their tail. Works pretty well.
Minnie Mouse pull-ups on them.
Yep.
So how many goats did you start with when you first got the farm?
So when we first moved here, you know, the prior owners weren't sure that they would be able to find anybody to take it on as a goat farm. So they had actually started to sell off some of the herd. So they were down to about, I think, 50 or 60 goats at that time.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I thought you were going to be like 5 or 6.
No. Still a lot.
What do you have now?
Oh, we're at about 100. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How big is the farm? How many acres is the farm?
So we sit on about 5 acres here, and then right next to us is Peconic Land Trust land, and so they own this property right here on the corner next to us. And they're, you know, I don't know if you're familiar with how they function, but they are so good to farmers out here. So they're all about land preservation and trying to help out all the local farmers. And so we lease the land next to us from them. It's about 7 acres. So we have this additional grazing space for the goats, which is really fantastic. And they're really awesome. Just such a great organization to work with. And by the way, this is not the group that when you buy a house out here, you know how you have to give a percentage.
The land trust tax, yeah.
Well, that's not the same group. Oh,
no,
interesting, because I assumed it was the same, and then it goes back to the farmers. Interesting. Okay, no. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a different thing entirely. Like, people are always like, what could they possibly be fundraising for? They've got all our money. We give them money every time we buy a house. No, that's not them. That's a different fund. I think it's actually the fund that the town uses to buy development rights from farms. So it works in a similar way.
I see.
But this place, this organization, I should say, is a nonprofit, and they, you know, work specifically with certain landowners to try and preserve big tracts of land to make sure that they stay.
And then they help farmers get started too, right? Like, I mean, I think they give the land or lease the land to farmers reasonably so they can sort of try it out and see if they want to be full-blown farmers.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly right. They're so good about that. I know a lot of farms around here have benefited from their generosity and help. I mean, 8 Hands Farm also is a huge partner of theirs. Several other farms out here have been the beneficiaries of of the land leases that they provide and the assistance. They're great.
I love that. I mean, that really speaks to what this show is all about and sort of the community and how the community supports each other. And I was just in the city talking to some people about how, you know, when I moved from Manhattan to out here, and like, I'm like, no, it's when I say I live in farmland, like I literally live in farmland.
Legit.
Like and it's, you know, 2.5 hours outside of the world's greatest, biggest city. So it's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy.
You know, the first time, it is crazy. I mean, the first time I came out here from the city, and I did live in Brooklyn for about 10 years, a little more than 10 years. But, you know, coming out here every now and then, and, you know, I'd been to the Hamptons, but this is just different, you know, and it's a different place to be. And it feels, I don't know, it's like you can like sort of do like a deep exhale when you come out here, especially for people who live in the city. I feel like you come out here and just suddenly you just can, I don't know, you just take bigger breaths. Just feel
it's a different pace. It's a different pace. Yeah.
It really is.
Well, and you're living and you're sort of putting, you know, one foot in each world every single day, right? With your with your career and being a lawyer and then coming back to the goats. I mean, you're doing that yin and yang every day. So
Yeah.
I don't know much about goats, and I heard you say that these are dairy goats. So
Yeah.
are there different breeds of goats, or how does that work?
Yeah, there are different breeds. So we have goats here that are sort of the larger dairy variety. So just like you might have heard about cows, you know, sometimes they're different breeds like Jersey or Holsteiner, that sort of thing. So dairy goats, we have a goat called a Saanen, and they were first in, I think they originate from Austria, sort of the Alps region of Europe. But they've been in the US for a really long time. We also have alpine goats, again, from the same region of the world. The Saanen goats are interesting. They're all white. They always just come out white. It's like a dominant gene that comes through every time. The alpine goats tend to be more colorful. We get lots of like beautiful brown and caramel and black. And then we have goats called La Manchas, which are really, they're probably my favorite, I have to say. Like probably shouldn't play favorites, but they're so cute and they have the cutest personalities.
Aww.
The reason that they're especially cute is because for some reason, the way they came to be, so they came over from Spain, missionaries brought them over to California, you know, forever ago. And they are, for some reason, have these little teeny tiny ears, like little elf ears. And so I remember the first time I came here to the farm, way before we bought the farm, when we had just come to visit and buy goat cheese. I saw one of these goats and I said to my husband, I was like, oh my God, it must have been a really bad winter. I didn't realize they had like, you know, frostbite and their ears fell off. It's not that. I was completely wrong. I had that shows you how much I knew about goats at the time. But their personalities are hilarious. They're just like a special kind of.
Do you name every goat? Like, can you identify your goats?
I wish that I could say I could do that. But because especially the Saanens, they are all literally, they are white and they have the exact same body structure. They have like no defining little characteristics on them, except some of them have certain personalities. So I can tell some of them apart, but it is hard, let me tell you. So we have collars on them that have little numbers. And so they all have a number, but I can tell, you know, some of them I know by sight easily. But some of them, you know, it's a little harder. I'm like, wow, I'm not sure if you know, it gets a little confusing.
Tell us about the skincare stuff.
Yeah. So actually I brought with me, just to show you, this is our hand and body cream. So what we do is we make out of goat milk here on site on our property, this really wonderful hand and body cream. So much goat milk goes into this. Now, you may have heard of other goat milk products out there on the market. There's a certain very large company up in New York called Beekman 1802, which is a big, huge goat brand, and they're wonderful. But I know that we put more goat milk in our product. And the cool thing about goat milk is that it has caprylic acid. And caprylic acid is this magical, naturally occurring substance that is like hyaluronic acid and a little bit of retinol, all kind of combined into one, and a moisturizing ingredient. So it's like it helps sort of gently exfoliate your skin, but also moisturize it. It also can mimic the qualities of vitamin C in that it starts to brighten your skin over time.
Wow.
It's insane. So my original farm manager, she's since retired, 𝗬𝗍, she actually, a wonderful local woman who's lived in 𝗘𝗍𝗙 for a really long time. She was saying she had age spots on her hands, and she put this on every day, and her age spots faded away. So that's pretty unbelievable.
Does it work on your face? Because I have a few.
So yeah, so we actually make a face cream as well, which just has slightly more gentle oils in it that are a little better for your skin, to make sure it doesn't clog your pores. So this is really for your whole body. And then I have a smaller little container for your face, and then also an under eye cream that has beeswax in it. And what's so cool about that is that it just sort of like smooths your wrinkles out. And then you can put, and it goes under makeup really nicely. Now you still need an SPF because we don't have SPF in our cream, but it is amazing. I use it. I love it. I think it's just an awesome product. And again, I can't take credit for all this because the Catapano family are the ones that were so generous and let us use their recipes. But I mean, Karen Catapano is a genius. I mean, the stuff is amazing. It works so well. So,
do you also sell?
I'm like ready to end the show and get in my car and go buy some right now.
I'm closer. I can get there faster. Tracy. Do you also sell the goat milk? Do people buy that, or you just sell the cheese?
I wish we could sell goat milk. So the deal is that we're, it's a highly regulated industry, as it should be. You need to be careful. Obviously, there's, we get tested all the time. But to actually sell goat milk, we would need to have like an entire bottling facility, essentially, and that's just a really huge expense that we really can't do. And the milk would have to be pretty darn expensive because of the size of our farm and how much it costs to sort of do that. It's something we've thought about a lot, but it's a really expensive thing. So we've been sticking just with cheese and then our skincare products.
So what kind of cheeses, what kind of goat cheeses do you have?
Yeah, so we have a cheese that is commonly known as chèvre, which sounds very fancy because it's a French word. There's like lots of other letters in there that I'm not even pronouncing.
Yeah,
exactly. Which is a fresh goat cheese. So it is pasteurized, but it's pasteurized at a very low temperature so that all the good stuff that you want to stay in your cheese, those live cultures, etc., are still there. And it's so fresh that I would say on our property, it's from the time you actually can get it on our shelves, from the time that it actually came out of that goat is like 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Very fresh, and it is so delicious. And if you've ever felt like, if you're one of those people that's like, I don't know how I feel about goat cheese.
Oh, love goat cheese.
Goat cheese is like, I don't know. Our goat cheese is very mild. So it's the most wonderful starting point for anybody to say, like an entry point for goat cheese is our cheese. We also have cool aged cheeses that just have a little bit stronger flavor, but not as goaty. It's more like, I don't know how to describe it. Like we have one that's called Summer Cloud, and it's a little bit more like a Swiss. So it has just a little tang, but not too strong. And we have one that's called Peconic 𝗙𝗏𝗆. Peconic 𝗙𝗏𝗆 is also really lovely, but it's a little bit more in the neighborhood of like I want to say like a cheddar. It's like a little bit sharper, but like a mild cheddar, but with a slight goaty undertone. But it's really, really good. So those are really nice.
So we can get all these products at your farm. Are they sold anywhere else, or you guys go to any of the farmers markets?
So first of all, we have an online store. So if you go to CatapanoDairyFarm.com, we will ship all over the United States. And you can order all of our skincare online. Right now, we haven't quite mastered the ability to ship cheese without it costing a fortune. But I think by this fall, we'll feel more comfortable doing that with the temperatures kind of going down and being able to make sure that we can get cheese to people safely. So we're going to try and see if we can work on that. But yeah, you get everything online, and then we do sell some of our products around town and even over in the Hamptons. So we're in a bunch of the farm stands over in the Hamptons, Amber Waves, Balsam, Green Thumb, Halsey. We also are in a bunch of restaurants. So Noah's carries our cheese here in Greenport. We're also in the wineries. So Sparkling Point carries our cheese. Let's see, Peconic, Lens has had our cheese. So a little bit of a bunch of the really great wineries out here. 𝗖𝗁𝗍𝗄 Farms just down the road carries it. So you can get it in a bunch of places. Sylvester Manor just picked up a bunch of our soaps, and I've got a bar of soap right here for you to see. These are our goat milk soaps.
Ooh,
really nice. And
it looks so pretty, though. It looks pretty to start with.
It does, doesn't it? This is really cool. This one is called Pine Barrens, named after our pine barrens, of course. And it has like this nice pine scent. I was really going for, I didn't in any way want it to smell like, a car air freshener. This literally, this literally smells like you're walking in the woods. And that's really what I was going for. So this one's really nice. This is my favorite, and it has been an amazing, amazing product and seller.
Great gift.
Yeah, it's a great gift. It's really nice, especially with the fall and Christmas and holiday season and stuff coming up. This is a nice gift. So
I got to give a shout out to the local restaurants in the vineyards. I love walking into a restaurant like Noah's and right on the menu when it says, KK's greens or Catapano farm cheese. That just, that just adds an extra deliciousness. And what a perfect pairing to be in the local vineyards, wine and cheese. I mean, what could be more perfect?
I agree. I love that. And it's so wonderful that they're also supportive of us. It does complement the wine out here so well. I mean, there's something to be said for the idea that things that grow together go together. I mean, I think it's true. And I think this is a great example of that. I wanted to tell you guys too about one really cool upcoming event that we've got coming up at the farm. I'm just going to hold this up. This is the North Fork Foodie Tour that starts September 7th on Sunday, September 7th. And they're actually we're part of the foodie tour, which is going to be really fun. We've got a couple of tours that you can sign up for and get a whole tour of the farm if you want to learn more about all the things that go on here. So we're looking forward to
Will there be a goat milking demo?
Oh, yes. In fact, not just a demo. You
get to do it?
Oh, yeah.
I am definitely starting on this end of the fork then. That's awesome.
Yeah, you can try.
Eric from North Fork Sites, Bites, and Flights has a question because he does these tours around the town, right? So he wants to know do we need to call ahead regarding a visit for 6 people?
Yeah, so I mean, if you just want to come and swing by and check out the store, no need to call ahead. You can just come right on in if it's during our normal hours. We do arrange for private tours though. If people ever want to do a private tour for a group, we try to be very flexible. We do both work jobs and we're all kind of over the place, but we can try and coordinate things with folks and get special tours in too. So we're happy to do those kinds of events.
Not to mention it's a working farm. So even if you're on the farm, there's milking to do and goats to feed.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually that's another fun thing that you can do at the farm. If you come at 4 o'clock on any of the days we're open, so Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we actually have a little window into our milking room. So you can actually watch the goats being milked.
I get to take Tilly. Tracy, I get to take Tilly.
Okay. That's fine. You take her. I will read my book. That's
okay. Perfect. Love it. No, but I'm glad you brought up the foodie tour because it is one of my favorite things about September here because there are so many farms and so many I think some vineyards participate and oyster farmers participate, but you can't possibly do all 20 in a day. I think there's about 20 participants. So if you go every year, you can kind of try and pick and choose, but I will definitely put the dairy farm on my list this year because it sounds, I mean, I've been to the farm and I've seen them climb the boat, but never done the milking. So
yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
Before we kick off our NOFO Live 5, I would be remiss if I didn't say that my mother says hello, Erin. She's the Riverhead Women's Club. And every time when I said you were going to be on, she was like, we love Erin.
Oh, they're so great. Yeah, that was such a fun group. We loved having them out here. So yeah, your mama said hi too.
I will. All right, let's kick off our NOFO Live 5. So if you were going to take Sunita and I out for a meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, your choice, where would you take us?
Gnocchi's 100%. I love their dinner. It's like my new favorite meal. Now, if I was taking you for lunch, though, it would be 𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏 is probably my favorite lunch. However, NOFO Shack, the North Fork Shack just down the road, now has a falafel burger. You guys, you guys have to try this falafel burger.
I love Sammy. I mean, he's so creative and he comes up with these ideas. I love it. I love
I
it.
love Sammy, and that falafel burger is, oh girls, I don't know. And the poke bowl that they're doing now too is amazing.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
love poke bowls.
so
That sounds great.
those are awesome places to visit. So there's so many, it's hard to choose. I love
I mean, the
little
falafel burger is actually something I can eat, so that's calling my name, you know?
You got to check it out. It's amazing.
Well, he has a shiitake, I don't know if it's a burger, but whatever that shiitake
The wrap.
BLT was, so good. That's already so good, but now I'm glad I have something else to add to the list.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
What do you catch on the farm? Sunrise, sunset, or do you have a different spot you go to?
Sunset is the easiest for us because actually the sun sets over the trees right by our property, so we can actually look out the window of our house while we're, you know, making dinner and hanging out with the kids. So sunset right there, and sometimes we'll actually walk down to the beach. We're not too far from Goldsmiths Inlet there, so we walk down and watch it from there, which is awesome. So
Wait, you mentioned kids. I know you have young kids. I just a minute on what is that like to have young kids on the farm? How do they like the goats?
They love the goats. My son, who just turned 13, holy cow, I can't believe I have a teenager, is amazing. He is like, you know, he's like the mayor of Catapano Dairy Farm. He will give people tours. He will chit chat with people.
Oh,
He'll
that's fantastic.
He loves it. My daughter, who's 4, going on 5, actually going on 25.
We're on 16. Yeah, 16. Yeah, we get that.
She is like a true farm kid. She just like runs outside with no shoes on and just is like, I'm just gonna go play with the goats. I'm like, you know, maybe some shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the goats don't have shoes and they're fine.
True.
But I love it. I love it. Just the thought of seeing these kids grow up on a farm, and I mean, you can't. That experience is priceless. You know.
It's awesome, and I hope they remember it, and you know, especially my daughter. You know, I hope she really remembers all of this whole experience from the get-go, because it's been awesome. It's been really amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brewery, vineyard, mocktail, cocktail. What do you enjoy and where?
Oh gosh. Well, brewery, you know, Greenport Brewing is right at the end of the street here, so that's kind of my go-to because it's right here. But wineries, oh gosh, that's so hard because I really love several. I love going to McCall for burger night, and I also love Russ McCall. He's such a sweet, wonderful man. There are so many, and then Sparkling Point down the other direction here. Oh my gosh, their sparkling wine is so great, and it goes really nicely with our cheese. So
You know what I love? I mean, obviously the wine is great, but just the two that you mentioned, right? I love even going to the vineyards for the vibe because burger night at McCall's with the light and the truck is such a different vibe from like the carnival at Sparkling Point. And that's sort of like the fun of being here is you can go there to drink the wine, but you can also go there to experience everything that the North Fork has to offer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Totally. That's so true. I love that about it. So yeah, those are probably my top ones. I do love Peconic, but I also love Lieb. And you know, Lieb is now owned by Suru, who I also love. It's just a love fest. Sorry.
So what farm stands do you like to hit up when you're cooking at home? What do you get there?
Well, I really do love organic produce. So, you know, Lee right down the road from me is wonderful. I have to tell you though that Mr. Wickham might be the sweetest human that has ever lived, and he's a national treasure. And so he has done so many countless wonderful, nice things for people that I know of, that I could tell you stories for days. And I love his berries. And he's been so wonderful too to the Southfield Mothers Club. He's taken his tractor out to take the kids out to the strawberry fields, and I love his whole family. So they're really great. But that group is awesome.
Before we ask you the last question, we have a guest question. They want to know if your lipstick is made from goat milk.
Oh, well, so we do have lip balm. We make a really nice goat milk lip balm, which is fantastic, and people are addicted to it. I did make a pigmented lip balm for a while. Maybe I'll bring that back on a limited edition basis, because I can pigment it about the color of what I'm wearing right now, because it's my favorite color. Sort of.
Maybe a nice holiday stocking stuffer. That might be a good thing for the holidays.
Absolutely. So yeah. I can make a little of that and sell it online or here in the farm stand, no problem. We did it for a while, about 2 years ago, and it went really well.
But even a lip balm sounds good because the idea of the nourishing, I can already, my lips already starting to feel creamy goat milk.
It's great. It's not, some of the ones that have chemicals and stuff in them, they tend to dry your lips out after it wears off for a while. So it makes you like keep reapplying. I guess that's the idea. I don't know, sort of a marketing tool or something.
Yeah.
But
Okay, wait, one more question, Tracy.
not ours.
Do you do goat yoga?
Oh yes. Okay, so goat yoga is in the spring.
Okay.
So we only do it when they're babies because we don't want anybody getting hurt when
With a 70-pound goat on you?
Yeah. I know people get so mad at me. They're like, I have a bachelorette party and it's in October and I really want to have goat yoga. And I'm like, I want you to too, but I also want you to be able to walk on your wedding day. So I do not want a goat to step on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can do farm yoga, which is like right next to the goats. We have a nice big field and we can do farm yoga, by request. We got to have a minimum of 6 people and we have a really wonderful yoga instructor. But yeah, we got to kind of cut it off by about starting July.
Well, farm yoga sounds good too because just watching them and being around them, it just sounds fun. Just seeing them climbing and doing their antics, or just laying in the grass too, because a lot of times they just like to chill.
They do like to chill. They will come and sometimes chill on your mat while you're doing some pose. They'll come and like flop down on your mat. They're pretty hilarious. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. But we'll start back up with that in the spring. So about like mid-April if the weather cooperates. But it is weather dependent because we're outside and you know how the weather can be out here, a little unpredictable.
Yes. Before we ask our last question, I do want to give a shout out tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. at tell me the name of the park.
Mitchell Park. Because I know what you're talking about.
In Greenport. There's a fundraiser happening, More Good Today, and NOFO Pilates are doing a free movement class. It's not super hard yoga. It's not super hard Pilates. It's just kind of movement. Everybody's invited, including Tilly, because I asked. And come bring your mat, and it's just a fundraiser. So pay whatever you can, and it's to help a local man with caretaking of his disabled daughter. So,
and if you can't go, they are taking donations online, so that would be an awesome thing to support.
Yes,
that's awesome. That's a great.
And it's a perfect segue into our North Fork community and why we love it so much. But tell us why you love it, Erin.
I love it because I love the fact that there is such an interesting mix of people out here. I feel like people have come out here for all walks of life, all kinds of different people, but we all love this place, I think, for similar reasons, which is that it is so beautiful. And I love the fact that we can be part of just sort of preserving what is so amazing and awesome out here. And as long as we all keep that in mind, that, as much as we love it, we have to try and make sure we, try and keep things as lovely and as beautiful as we possibly can for everybody else to enjoy too.
Yes.
Well, thank you for taking the plunge and being part of preserving the farmland here, because that is one of the things, or, a really large part of things that we love about living here is the open farmland and the green and the local grown produce. And thank you also for bringing up Peconic Land Trust. I think we should have them on the show, Tracy, to talk more about, because I, like other people, I think, assumed that their fundraising came and they were fully funded with every real estate transaction. But if that's not the case, we definitely should help support and help that endeavor.
Totally.
If you're listening, reach out to us. We'd love to have you on the show.
I'll hook you guys up. They're wonderful.
Sounds good. Thank you, Erin. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next Friday. Bye.
Happy Friday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.